Wanted to start with this right here real quick. It's again the book that we've gone over before. It's the observations concerning the increase of mankind and peopling of countries by Benjamin Franklin. And this one says 1755, but I guess it was written in 1751. Just realized, but this particular one was published in 1755. All right, I just want to remind everybody, you know, what has been said, before and by who. So I want to read from here. It says, and since detachment of English from Britain sent to America will have their places of home so soon supplied and increased so largely here, why should the Palatine Boers be suffered to swarm into our settlements? And Boers, I mean like the poor people, peasants. And he's saying, why should these German people be allowed to come? Like why we bringing so many over here? That's what Benjamin Franklin is saying, right? And why should we be suffered to swarm into our settlements, and by herding together establish their languages and manners to the exclusion of ours? Why should Pennsylvania, founded by the English, become a colony of aliens, who will shortly be so numerous as to Germanize us instead of our Anglifying them?
All right. Praise God, everybody. I just want you to pay close attention. Right here, it seems like Benjamin Franklin is saying, don't bring those Europeans over here. Why should we bring them over here? Well, as you keep listening, you'll see that he's talking about black Europeans. The Europeans were black. All of the Europeans were black uh, before the residents of the Caucasus Mountains began to migrate into that country and take over via God's plan. That was God's plan, okay? All right, keep listening.
So he's saying, whoa, we should be Anglifying them instead of getting Germanized. What does he mean by that? And will never adopt our language or customs any more than they can acquire our complexion. All right, so Benjamin Franklin is saying, they're not even our complexion, right? So he's talking about Germans, but I thought they were all white. I thought he was white. I thought Germans was white. What is he talking about? So I know we've read this before. We know what he means. But yeah, he's letting us know straight up that Germans are not the same complexion as what he is in his time. Which leads me to add one remark. He says that the number of purely white people in the world, all right, is proportionally very small. All Africa's black or tawny. Asia chiefly tawny. All right, so again, all Africa is black or tawny. Asia chiefly tawny. America exclusive of the newcomers, so America instead of the new people, other than the new people, is wholly so. Wholly what? Black or tawny. Wholly black or tawny America.
So we see right here, this kills the theory that they brought Africans over here. They didn't want black and dark people over here because they were taking the land. They needed Europeans to come over here and subjugate and to take over and be slave masters. And they needed the worst kind of Europeans, the slaves, those people who had no godly conscience, because they needed those kind of people over here to mass murder and kill the people who they were taking out of this land, who they were fighting. So they had to have the criminals of Europe and the ill and the sick and the mental ill. They sent all of their worst people over here to subjugate the people of this land. Okay, so we know bringing black people from Africa was not financially smart, and it was not military smart. It wasn't military smart. Okay, keep listening.
And in Europe, the Spaniards, the Italians, the French, the Russians, and the Swedes are generally of what we call a swarthy complexion, as are the Germans also, the Saxons only excepted, who, with the English, make the principal body of the white people on the face of the earth. So according to Benjamin Franklin, his people, who he's saying are the English, but we know there's also Black Britain, so whatever English he's talking about, and Anglo-Saxons, he says. But we're gonna read today if the Anglo-Saxons were really always white, you know. But according to him in his time, that's what he's saying is the only white people on the earth on the face of the earth. All right, they're a minority. He says, I could wish their numbers were increased. I wish we were more. I wish we were more deep. And while we are, as I may call it, scoring our planet by clearing America of woods, and so making this side of our globe reflect a brighter light. All right, so they're clearing our woods. What? Taking down our woods and making this a brighter light, making it more light. What does he mean by that? In the eyes of the inhabitants of Mars or Venus, all right, his ancestors, what is he talking about? Why should we, in the sight of superior beings, all right, so who's the superior beings?
Deuteronomy 7 and 6. We are a chosen people. God has set us above all other people. We are the superior beings on the earth. And right here, it lets you know that they know that their numbers are down. They know they can't whoop us all out because unless they have an equalizer, which is that nuclear weapon, technology, missiles, guns, but they only have us outnumbered in certain places where they want to make a stance to make the big fish, to make the appearance that they are greater than what they are. We know who these people are. They are weaker. They are smaller. They're mentally they are challenged compared to us. They are in fear of their life. They're in fear of their survival. They came out of the Caucasus Mountains, which did a number on them. So we know what these people are going through, the mental illness that they suffer, no godly conscience. We know all of this. So they did not move people, black people on this land. This was our land, always have been. Europe was our land. The earth is ours. So we know the game that they're playing. Don't let them play it on you. Look at these videos. I want you to subscribe to this guy's channel. He's got tons of videos. He's explaining it all. I'm just helping. You know, I'm not trying to take the credit. I let you know that he did most of the work and I'm using his research. That's what we got to do. We got to use the research of the people who took the time to go out and research and put these research and experiment notes together, okay? All right.
Kyo put me onto that. So why should we, in the sight of superior beings, who's the superior beings he's talking about? Guess who he's talking about? Anybody in the chat guess? Who's the superior beings he's
The
talking about?
Israelites.
In the sight of superior beings, darken its people.
The Israelites. They had the law.
All right? I'm talking about you, superior beings. Why are we going to keep darkening our people? He's saying, why are we bringing all these swarthy Europeans?
Yeah.
Over here.
Benjamin Franklin. This is his book.
Yeah, you want to say something, JC?
Yeah, because I'm reading this and I'm thinking, he's either talking about the indigenous people. Why increase? Okay, he said why increase this? He said excluding all the blacks and tawnies, increasing whites and reds. I mean, way back up there he says calling them where you was reading at right here. Read that again.
Yeah. So why should we? You mean like land?
Yes. Go ahead.
All right. So it says, yeah. So making the sight of the globe reflect a brighter light to the eyes of the inhabitants of Mars and Venus. Why should we, in the sight of superior beings, darken its people?
Now, I'm thinking two people. Some people gonna say he's talking about God. Okay?
No, he said people.
But when he says in the sight of his superior beings, I'm like, wait a minute, is he talking about the indigenous population?
No, he says
Some
beings
he's
and
talking about
more than
he
one.
says beings.
More than
So
one.
beings, he's talking about some people.
Yeah.
Well, he's the newcomers. They're the newcomers. You know, more deep. Where there was more indigenous people. There's deeper. So
exactly.
The sight of superior beings.
So he's not talking about some spiritual God that's like something out of a Bible. When he says in the sight of superior beings, he has to be talking about some human beings. So he has to be talking about the indigenous population.
Yeah. Elementary. That's elementary. He asked you for
said, why should we darken it some more?
A scholar comment.
Right? Because he just said America was wholly Tawny, wholly black. He's saying, I wish we had more numbers of us.
Use your scholarship, people. Dude.
So why should we darken it some more? Right? And why increase the sons of Africa or people of color? What he's saying, by planting them in America, where we have so fair an opportunity by excluding all blacks and Tawnies of increasing the lovely white and red? Question mark. But perhaps I'm partial to the complexion of my country, for such kind partially is natural to mankind.
I want to comment on. I like that part you was talking about. When he's talking about bringing Africans over here, because that's another a valid point of them trying to when they were trying to reverse the culture from
Yeah.
the indigenous, those who they call the Negroes, but the indigenous colored people of America by bringing Africans over here, doing that culture reversal thing, and by saying we're from there. So that's
So this is one of my first videos that I'll begin by trying to show you your culture, who you are. Uh, Basically, it's gonna. Once you learn that you are the Aboriginal people, you'll realize that the people who's making laws and governing over you, they have no right, according to the Constitution, according to God, according to the Declaration of Independence, the Peace and Friendship Treaty, the Clearfield Document, okay, uh, Constitution. They have no right. They have no right to stand and judge over you. How can people of an equal uh, they're not equal with us. They already said right here, Benjamin Franklin said that they are, we are superior to them. So how can they come and make laws? Nobody gave them permission, especially not God. So people of a lesser caliber, stature, cannot rule over people who are basically better than them, who has the charge by God to rule the earth and to show the people how to be like God, how to be godly. None of these people who are ruling today on the earth can show you how to be godly because it's not in them. They're not made like that. They can't, the devil can't show you. Those who work for the devil can only do the devil's bidding. They cannot do God's bidding. Well, they are doing God's bidding because God bid them like he did to Satan, the devil on Job. He said, have you considered my servant Job? He said, no, I can't even consider him because you got a hedge around him. So God would like to put a hedge around you. But if you move away from the hedge, then the devil is there to run you back under the wings of God. Psalm 92. The devil is God's sword to chastise his chosen people, to make them live life and in safety, and outside of the curse, okay? Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 15. The devil's uh, placed it on earth to make you live in those scriptures, 1 through 15, okay? But, we decide by our own choice to live from Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 68. So that's why Jesus couldn't really save us, because Deuteronomy 28 and 68 had to come to pass. 15 to 68, it had to come to pass. Deuteronomy 15 through 68 had to come to pass. Otherwise, Jesus would have saved us all then, just like the apostles asked him, said, Lord, when will the kingdom be restored back into the hands of the Israelites? He said, only God knows that. Only the Father knows that. Why didn't he say, well, it'll never be restored to the Israelites because I'm choosing everybody, and I dismissed the Israelites because some of y'all didn't believe in me, so I'm going to dismiss everybody. See, that's ridiculous. So, so now we see why everything is happening like it's happening, because God is restoring the Israelites and the time of the Gentiles is over. But now he's going to explain everything to us while we're being restored in this land. He's going to explain everything to the whole world, why we are the chosen people and who turned the truth upside down. Okay? Well, this is number one. This is one of the videos that will help you get back to your rightful place, to a Republican government ruling under the laws of God. That's what the Constitution is. It's not a godless Constitution. The Constitution is quoting scriptures all through it. It's quoting the mind of God all through it. Okay? And those people didn't create the Constitution. It's a contract between us and them. via Declaration of Independence, okay? All right. Talk to you later.